Didn't need no knife, did you?
You don't need teeth. It's absolutely delicious. It just falls apart.
I like some spice, but I'm not trying to cry over here while I'm eating.
I'm gonna drink this broth.
Is that bowl number 2 or 3?
We won't talk about it.
Okay. Are you the carb queen? Oop, I dropped some. Cole is chowing down.
It is fantastic.
Y'all, it is October, and that means it's Crocktober. So this week I am making Southern comfort foods in the Crockpot. And one of them, Steven is very excited for because he asked for this recipe from one of you. You stepped up to the task and somebody sent in a recipe that he was asking for. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. This first recipe I'm putting in the Crockpot is cube steaks and gravy. However, this particular recipe I found online, and it uses 3 different gravy mixes combined to make the one gravy for your cube steak. So Steven, being the person that he is, he came up with Subbie Supper. He came up with Batter Chatter. He comes up with all these cute little names for things. So I was telling him about this recipe, and he said, so it's cube steak. 3 gravy packs, cubed steaks. So these are cube steaks. Okay, to get started, I've got this plate here. I'm gonna add some flour. I'm gonna start with that amount. And we're gonna take our cube steaks and just coat them in the flour. We are gonna go to the skillet first before going to the crock pot because we are going to sear these. Okay, I've got my large skillet. It's been heating to about medium high. I'm gonna add a little bit of olive oil, not a ton, maybe a tablespoon-ish. And we're gonna take these and just sear them on each side for, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes, not long. We're not cooking them all the way through, obviously. We're gonna call that good. All right. 3 minutes on this side, and then we'll flip them. The recipe calls for a large onion. I'm doing half of this large onion just because this was an extra large onion. But we're just gonna slice this. All right, these have been going for several minutes. Let's flippity flip, and we'll just give those 3 more minutes, and then we'll head over to the crock pot. Okay, these have cooked on both sides now, so we're gonna add them to the bottom of the crock pot. We are just gonna top it with our onion rings. Sliced onions, not actual onion rings, already cooked, just in case you were wondering. Okay, and now we're just gonna pour some water over top of it, and this is gonna cook. It says low and slow all day. It says 8 hours, but it's already 12 o'clock. So I'm gonna start it out on high. This is about 2 cups of water, by the way. I'm gonna start it out on high, and then I will switch it over to low later today. And then we will worry about the gravy mixes later today. So I'm gonna do a couple of hours on high, and then after the end of that, I will switch it over to low for the rest of the afternoon until it's time to eat. And just so I don't forget, because I have been known to want to switch it over to low, but then letting it go to keep warm and messing up a whole meal, I'll set a timer on my phone to remind me to come in here after 2 hours. Okay, so we've got 30 minutes left on this, so we need to make our gravy. Now remember, we've got 3 different gravies. We've got mushroom gravy, onion gravy, and brown gravy. I've got 1 cup of water. We're just gonna whisk all of this together before we add it in. And let's pour this in and just let this cook for 30 more minutes. I'm actually gonna switch it over to high as well. It doesn't say to do that. Ma'am, can you move please? Nope, it's not for you, thanks. Let's move along, thank you. Okay, I turned it over to high. I'm gonna put the lid back on it, and I'm gonna get started on a side dish that you will see that recipe on Tuesday. Okay, so you've got 3 different things on your plate, 2 of which you're gonna see in Tuesday's video, so don't look behind the curtain.
Here we go.
Okay.
Cube steak.
Mm-hmm. Didn't need no knife, did you?
You don't need teeth. It's absolutely delicious. It just falls apart.
Well, good.
That is delicious.
Yay.
A little bit of that. I didn't get the onions really. But the gravy, I got some gravy, that's for sure. Yeah, you just cut right in it like butter.
Yeah.
And then you get some of this here, and then you can just gum it.
Down.
It is fantastic.
All right. So
really good.
We got thumbs up over here. Oh, 2 of them. All right.
Yep, good job.
Okay, so now you're going to dig into the other. So we'll get to see the rest of it on Tuesday, y'all. Sorry. Bye. We are back for day 2 of Southern Comfort Foods in the crock pot. I filmed this early this morning before I was ready because it needed to be on high all day long. But today we are making pinto beans in the crock pot. It is a true Southern staple, and usually you just throw a ham hock in there and call it good. Two things. My grocery store was out of ham hocks. Second of all, I wanted to try a new recipe. So I found a recipe that was very highly rated online, and we are trying it today. It has been going for about 3 hours. So it's on high all day today. I'm gonna take you back in time and show you. Okay, to get started, I'm just going to dice this yellow onion. And I have started, just for those of you who have left comments saying that you've had problems with onions this year too, I've started buying the organic onions, and I've not had any problems with those. I know they're a little more expensive, but when you're going through onions like crazy because they're rotten, you're probably spending that extra money anyway because you're having to throw so many away. So just a heads up, I have not had problems with the organic ones this year. And this is a jalapeno from our garden that's been frozen. At this point, it does say to seed your jalapeno, but I think I'm gonna leave our seeds in. The red ones are usually hotter. Maybe I should take the seeds out of one side. That's what I'll do. I'll leave half the seeds in because I don't want it to be too hot, obviously. But we do like a little bit of spice. Steven likes a lot of spice. I like a little bit of spice. So I'm just going to dice this as well. All right, let's go over to the stovetop. I've got this kind of small to medium skillet heated to about medium, a little over medium. I'm gonna add just a little bit of olive oil to it, and we're gonna throw our onions and our jalapeno in here to saute. This should take probably 5 minutes or so. And while this is starting to saute, I'll come over here and check on it periodically, but I'm gonna start rinsing my pinto beans. I've got 3 cups of pinto beans here. I'm just going through it right now just to look for any rocks. Since this is a no soaking recipe, we're gonna be adding a lot of liquid to our crock pot with these, and these are gonna cook on high all day so that they will be nice and soft for us come dinner time. So these have softened up quite nicely. It is time to add in some, not olive oil, I'm grabbing olive oil, some minced garlic. That's what we need. I think the recipe says 3 cloves. I'm probably going with more than that because we love garlic. So let's saute this for another minute. If you're wondering, I'm guessing if you're in a hurry, you could just throw these in the crock pot without doing this. But sauteed, they have a little bit different flavor profile. But if you just wanted to throw them in and cook them all day in there, I think that would be fine too. Okay, everything is going into the crock pot. We've got our 3 cups of, I almost said green beans, pinto beans that have been rinsed. Okay, let's put our onion mixture in there. Now we need a teaspoon each of salt and pepper. I'm actually gonna go a little less than a teaspoon on that salt just because I just realized I don't have low sodium chicken broth. So yeah, I don't wanna overload the salt there. And then we also need a teaspoon or so of cumin. All right, now we need to add our chicken broth. I've got 2 cartons. You need 64 ounces. Because again, these are dry, so they're gonna soak up a lot of the broth. A lot of that liquid will be gone. This is going on high all day for about 8 to 9 hours. I'm gonna make some cornbread to go with this tonight. It's gonna be awesome.
Pinto beans always reminds me of my grandmother. I'd get off the school bus and come around to the back of the house.
Yep.
And grandma would always be in the kitchen window with the window would be up, and I could see her through that screen there at the kitchen sink.
And you could smell.
And then I could smell those pinto beans cooking.
Yeah.
I could. Yeah, she'd have them in the pressure cooker. You could hear it in there.
The days before Instant Pot was a show enough pressure cooker.
Those are very fond memories.
Well, we used her skillet tonight to make the cornbread in her cornbread recipe, so it's like Grandmama's here.
It's going to be good. So we doctored this up a little bit. We got just a little bit of raw onion there on top. Mm-hmm. And some chow chow.
Chow chow. Cole is so happy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, yeah. That is traditional pinto beans right there.
So good. But without the ham hock, can you believe it?
There's a lot of flavor in here. I don't know what you put in here, but it is delicious.
I'm so glad. I'm going to be real honest, y'all. I snuck a bite earlier just to make sure. I was wanting to make sure that the beans were completely cooked, and of course they are. So I already know that they are delicious.
Wow. Really good flavor in this, in the bean soup part that's in there. I used to love mixing crumble a little bit of cornbread in the soup part.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Oh, man.
All right, y'all. So that is a Southern comfort food. Oh. We gotta get 2 thumbs up over there. That's a Southern comfort food in the crock pot. It's a winner. It is time for our 3rd recipe, and this one I know Steven is really excited about because this is a Texas chili, which means no beans, and it comes from one of you, making it a Subbie supper. Lisa sent us this recipe, and it sounds so delicious. I put it in the crock pot this morning, so I can attest to the fact that it smells delicious as well. We're about to eat here in just a second, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about her first before we go back in time and I'll show you how I made it. Lisa is retired. She lives with her husband and her 2 Boston Terriers, Ruby and Ray. She said they live on the coast of Texas in sunny San Leon. She said this is her family recipe for Texas red chili, and she has adapted it to be a crock pot recipe, which is what we did today. But she said back in the day, her grandmother would cook this in the Dutch oven on a stove all day long. She said the great thing about it is you can really adjust the spice level. So if you like a lot of spice, you leave the seeds and the jalapenos. If you don't, you take them out, that type of thing. And then she said you just serve it with your favorite chili toppings and enjoy. So we're excited to try it. She also mentioned that she loves the cheat sheet. That's this thing right here. It is on my website. It's free. You can go download it on my website. It's got all the conversions. It tells you what temperature to cook meats. It tells you how to convert something from slow cooker to Instant Pot. So go download that. Print it. She said it's on her fridge as well. I keep it up there and I reference it all the time. Okay, the first thing we need to do is chop up this large yellow onion. It needs to be diced. So just to make things quicker, I'm using my dicer. Much quicker and no tears. I also need to chop up some chipotle peppers and adobo sauce and a couple of jalapenos. It said 2 medium-sized jalapenos. I'm gonna go with these 2 because they probably make up about a medium-sized. And we do like some spice, so I'm just gonna go with that, even though I'm halving the recipe. Ooh, that one has a lot of seeds. We're gonna take the seeds out of that one. I like some spice, but I'm not trying to cry over here while I'm eating. The rest of that's fine. Okay, so let's dice that. Now we need some chipotle peppers and adobo. And it does say that you want to have the sauce with this, so. Okay, I have probably about 2.5 pounds. I say probably, I just got a kitchen scale. I should measure it. Hold please. I measured an empty bowl and then measured this. Anyway, it's right at 2.5 pounds, which is the perfect amount for half. So we need a couple of tablespoons of chili powder. We need 1 tablespoon of cumin. And remember, this is all half of what she sent me. About half a tablespoon of oregano, about a teaspoon of salt. And we're not supposed to use all of the seasoning at once. We're going to lightly season the meat before we saute it, and then we'll have some left over. Okay, this is the cutting board that I just used to cut this up. So let's spread it back out and lightly season the beef. I get questions all the time asking me, but did you wash your hands after you did that? Yes, the answer is always yes. I just don't show it on camera because how much fun would that be? It would be 10 minutes each video of me washing my hands. I'm just gonna mix it to combine it. Let's go over to the stovetop. So I've got this large skillet heating to medium-high heat. I'm gonna add in some olive oil and we're going to brown our cubes in batches and then add them directly over here into the crock pot. Okay, I just removed our final batch and put it in the crock pot. Now we're gonna saute our onions just right here in this same skillet. Let me turn the heat up just a little bit. And we're gonna scrape up the bottom. All that good flavor is down there on the bottom, so scrape that up. We're gonna let these saute for about 4 or 5 minutes till they're really good and softened. Now that these are soft, let's add in our chipotle peppers and adobo sauce along with our onion. Okay, let's add our onion and chipotle peppers in. Now add in the jalapeno, some garlic, the reserved spice mixture. I have to say, my kitchen smells amazing. I'm gonna add in some fire roasted tomatoes. She just said diced tomatoes, but we love the flavor of fire roasted. I'm just adding 1 can. And then I need 2 cups of chicken broth. Oh, I had just 2 cups left. I didn't know how much was in here. There we go. And then this is gonna cook low and slow for 7 to 8 hours. I have to say, it feels really weird not adding beans to this, but I'm going with it. We're excited. All right, I'll see y'all back in a little bit. Okay, it has been all day long. We've got a little bit of cornbread left. Steven ate the rest of the Pintos today for lunch and had some cornbread with it, but we have enough for me and him Cole is not here. I'm not sure what time he'll be home this evening, so he'll eat this as leftovers more than likely. But this has been cooking low and slow all day. It's now after 5 o'clock, and we're about to dig in.
I'm excited about this.
Chili with no beans.
I know.
What in the world?
Look at the meat chunks in here.
I'm telling you what.
Well, it definitely lives up to the name so far.
Yeah.
The red color of this chili. Wow. Man, that flavor is incredible. It seems like there's some smokiness going on, maybe some chipotle or some smoked paprika or something.
Well, there's chili powder and cumin.
Okay, maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Oh, but you know what? There's chipotle peppers in adobo sauce.
Ah.
I forgot about that. Yep.
That is delicious. And that meat is so tender and just
It falls apart. It falls apart, y'all. Okay, I'm gonna dig in. Lisa, this already is a winner. I can tell just from his reaction. So
yeah.
I'm excited to give this a try. Oh, I didn't get me any cornbread. What is wrong with me?
I don't know.
Will you go give me some?
I will.
Thank you. Lisa.
The richness of the flavor in this broth.
I mean, that's what I was just about to say. You could just make a meal off of the broth. But you don't miss the beans because this is not ground beef like I'm used to. This is so hearty because of the chuck roast. So it is not too spicy. It's definitely a little spicy, but it's not too spicy.
Yeah.
Wow.
I love it.
So we have now officially tried Texas chili with no beans. Thank you so much, Lisa. You're awesome. My carb-loving cat. Are you the carb queen? Oop, I dropped some. Here's some. Oh, I dropped. I'm dropping it on her head. Here, baby. I'm sorry. She loves cornbread. Loves it. Here's more over here. Oh, there we go.
I'm gonna drink this broth.
Is that bowl number 2 or 3?
We won't talk about it.
Okay. Conversations after we eat. We're gonna include y'all. So he was talking about kind of shredding up that meat.
Yeah. If you take that little shredder that you have in there and shred it up really
the
good.
mix and chop, yeah.
The mix and chop, yeah. Or a fork or something. And shred that meat up.
Yeah. I mean, I can see where you get hash. I don't know if there's quite enough meat to...
People have a different mindset when you talk about hash.
Hash, yeah.
Because hash is different all over the place.
The hash around here is usually very...
soupy.
Yeah.
Thank you. I burped and she said, we're going to do that again.
You can't burp. There's like
We're just sitting around the table.
200,000 people watching
We're
us.
all of us is just sitting around the table. That's what we're doing right now.
And you're just burping?
I mean, somebody liable to burp. Can you imagine 200,000 people burping at the same time?
Oh.
It
would be something else.
we might not survive that. Well, I mean, we do appreciate you being here, interacting. I love it when somebody leaves a comment.
I know you do.
We read comments.
We read comments all the
Pretty
time.
regular. We do appreciate the feedback. We
Yeah.
really do. And we'd like to hear from people. And if you have a recipe that you'd like to send in, mandyinthemaking.com. Scroll down. There's a little section there that will take you to a form you can fill out and send us a recipe. Also, if you're not subscribed, it really would help out the channel if you'd hit that subscribe button. That way you get notified whenever Mandy uploads another video.
Yeah.
And also the like button. Like button's always just...
Oh, the dryer's going off. Perfect timing.
There's the dryer.
Thank y'all. We'll see you next time.
Bye.